I thought I would do a video revising and extending my comments on bacon and what is real bacon or real cured meat. Because a lot of people take this stuff very personally, and so I wanted to kind of go into a little deeper explanation. The biggest problem we have is the terminology. The terminology is very imprecise, and so when I say that almost all modern bacon is not real, what I mean by that, as an off-grid person who does things a very, very kind of old-fashioned way, is that it is not the same product that was produced 100, 200 years ago. And that's true of almost every product. They've all been commercialized, and the process has been changed to allow for refrigeration and other things that people would consider great benefits, but that means the product is not the same product that it was a long time ago. So when I say, people will contact me and I'll say, well, that's not really cured bacon, that's flavored bacon. And they say, well, no. I buy mine at the butcher and I get the good kind, and they don't do any injection or any of that kind of stuff. You're still not understanding what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that unless that bacon that you buy can be put on a counter, or in the package that you're given it can be put in a cabinet without refrigeration for an extended period, months or 6 months or a year or whatever, without going bad or being dangerous, then it is not really cured. It's not. It may have cure applied to it for taste purposes, but if it requires refrigeration, then it is not traditional bacon. And there are different ways that traditional bacon was made. And so what I'm not saying is that what you're getting from your butcher is not good, or that I don't like bacon. I do. And so I'm just trying to be very precise, because the words are very, very difficult. I'll give you an example. The big book to have about charcuterie, and I'm going to turn the camera around here if I can do it, is it's not going to let me do it. All right, I'll turn it this way. Is this book by Michael Ruhlman and Brian Polson, and it's a classic book on making charcuterie. And if you read in here, it says under a section called Fresh Bacon, it talks about pork belly and pink salt are the two special items you need to make bacon, which is true when you are talking about cured bacon. And then he goes on and gives a recipe for making fresh bacon. He calls it fresh bacon. And it includes putting it in a cure for 7 days, a basic dry cure for 7 days. All right. Here's the problem. This term fresh bacon, if you go to any butcher or any meat person in the world and you order a fresh bacon, that means a non-cured pork belly. So we're not using the same terminology. What he's meaning is a quickly cured bacon that still has to be refrigerated. It says right here, if you read on down, it says stored in the refrigerator, it will keep for up to 2 weeks, or it can be well wrapped and frozen for up to 2 months or longer. So this is not a cured, truly cured, traditionally cured bacon. He's calling it fresh bacon. And so the terminology is very tricky. And so a lot of people spend a lot of money on bacon, which they think is, and it is better than the cheap store-bought bacon that you buy, but it's not really a long-term cured product, and it's not traditional bacon. And so I'm going to give you an example. I thought I would help try to get rid of some of the consternation. This is a dry cured sausage. As you can see, I've already imbibed. This sausage is stable, which means I can throw it here on the counter and leave it there. The one thing that will happen to this is it will continue to dry and it will get harder and harder, but what it will not do is go bad. All right? This is why you can see these hoop sausages hung in meat markets or specialty shops, or in Europe in butcher shops, and they're not worried about bugs, and they're not worried about it getting bad, and they're not worried about refrigeration. This has been dry cured for long enough that it's not going to go bad. And for a while, it is actually, and I'll cut off a piece here. It is actually, soft enough to chew, and it's delicious. That's a delicious sausage. All right. Most of the sausage that you buy in the store, pardon me eating in front of you, is not dry cured sausage. And if you did that, you would get sick. What that was. Anyway, and so I'll give you another example. This is a Lonzino that we made. This is delicious. And this is a pork loin that has been long-term dry cured and smoked. I cut this one open and has not been refrigerated. It's already probably 3 or 4 months old, probably 4 months old. And I cut this open when I was in Lubbock visiting with my sister and brother-in-law, and sliced some up with some cheese. And it is designed, it is made, it is already cured. So I can cut off thin little beautiful slices like that. And it's delicious. Oh. Now some people would call this something like a Canadian bacon, but it is dry cured and long-term cured, and it does not have to be refrigerated. It can hang in your, the only thing that will happen is that over time it will dry out. And then you just cut off a chunk. You can blanch it or you can soak it in water, and it's still good. This is the way that meat was done for thousands of years before refrigeration. All right? So when I'm talking about bacon not being real, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about real, authentic bacon. So when you go on YouTube, there are hundreds and hundreds of videos of people making dry cured, authentic, original, colonial, whatever they want to call it, bacon. And it's not what it really is, because they are adding cure and they are putting it in the cure. And they think, and people think because it's not injected or, massive chemicals are used, that it's traditional bacon, and it really isn't. Now, the ways that traditional bacon were made, they were salted. So like in a salt box, where they were just basically buried in salt and then pulled out when it came time, and that would dry out that and cure that bacon side. And then when it came time to eat it, they soaked it for anywhere up to 24 hours, the portion that they were going to eat, and they then sliced it and they fried it up, and it was bacon. Without the ability to actually keep it stored in salt, eventually nitrates were added, and that's what gives it the distinctive pink color and bacon flavor that you love so much. All right? And so the other ways now that bacon is cured traditionally is using salt and sugar and other ingredients. It is cured for a longer period of time. It is smoked, cold smoked, and then dried to the point where the bad bacteria cannot grow in it. All right. So if it's hot smoked, that's what people call traditional bacon today, but it is not temperature stable. It has to be refrigerated after that. All right. So those of you who have been following this process, I'm going to show a little bit of today. Yesterday I did a video and I showed just out, maybe an hour or so after I had put the bacon on the cure. And today I'm going to show you the bacon after 24 hours. And you can see there's probably half a cup or so of liquid that has come out of the bacon. And this little part here, it was too big for the container. And so today I'm going to be draining off this liquid. I'm going to be reapplying the cure. And I'll do this every day for several days until it's stabilized. And then it will sit in the cure for, depending on the thickness of the meat, up to another week. And then it will be equalized. Then it will be smoked. And then when the dryness is just right, where you can slice off a beautiful piece, throw it in your frying pan, then it'll be ready to go. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. And if you would, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Talk to you later.